Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Modern Warzone Weekly podcast. We're back at it again, episode 14. And well, this is not an emergency episode because it's a regularly scheduled one, but this is an emergency because the Warzone Pacific map has been delayed. A 6-day delay, I think, Doug, and we got to talk about it. We're going to jump straight into that. Of course, there's been a lot of really cool updates to Vanguard as well we're going to talk about, but let's start with Warzone Pacific because we've seen a lot of chatter on the Twitter timeline, some positive, some negative about this change in this delay, and I think it's definitely worth mentioning. Doug, how are we doing today? And I want to hear your thoughts because I remember you put out a long tweet about how originally this map was going to be dropping in 4 days from now, and now it's been all the way delayed until December 9th, I believe.
Yeah, first of all, I want to mention that the community's response so far to the delay has been positive. It's something that I was not expecting to see. When I first saw that Call of Duty tweeted this morning that there was a delay for Warzone Pacific, I was shocked, and I thought that, I wasn't really shocked. I could have seen it happening. But I thought that the Call of Duty community as a whole was just going to torch it. Everybody say, oh, it's going to be bad now. This is just showing it's not ready. It's not. Well, no, the actual Call of Duty community, for the most part, besides trolls that I've seen, is actually glad there's been a delay because they think that means that they will get a more polished product. I will say that while there's only 6 days in this delay, that does allow developers more time to polish things, and a lot can be done in 6 days. Now, nobody's actually gotten hands-on experience with the map that we know of yet, so that's all hearsay. But as Gojj was saying, originally we tweeted out a schedule of all the Vanguard dates that we knew of, and they all ended up right except for the Season 1 release date, which I posted as November 23rd. That is clearly not happening. That's 4 days from now. And also, a gentleman by the name of ZestyCodLeaks found in some string files that are related to the Vanguard event and the end of Verdansk that it says that welcome to Vanguard or something along that effect on December 7th. And something that's funny about that is that's actually 24 hours off of when they delayed it to. And back in Modern Warfare Season 5, there was Black Lives Matters protests and a bunch of other things going on within America really close to home to Activision Studios, and they delayed that season indefinitely at the time. And data mine files back then showed that was going to release on a certain date. I streamed on that night to 2,000, 3,000 people. The update never happened. I stayed up all day the next day, went to sleep, woke up, and found out the update was actually 24 hours after the data mine date then as well. So the question that I want to pose to anybody listening to this and to you, Gojj, is do we think that this delay has been known about within Activision, and the developers have known that this delay was going to happen for a while now, and that they just stuck with the December 3rd date to keep us happy? Or do you think that this is not that deep, and that it really did just recently get delayed? Because those string files that ZestyCodLeaks found were all the way back in October, the middle of October, I believe.
Sure.
And everybody said he was crazy.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to decide if it even matters in terms of how a community would respond if they announced a delay, right off the rip, essentially back in October, or if they announced the delay this close to actual drop time, if it matters, or how the community would respond. And I'm not sure that it necessarily does. I think it would be a bit weird to announce the delay pretty quickly after announcing the date of it actually dropping. And so maybe they just wanted to wait till it was closer to time. So it was kind of, back getting the game on the top of trending category. I mean, literally you can see it on the right side. There's a lot of trending topics in the world right now, but in the gaming community, hashtag Warzone is trending in gaming on Twitter. So this is a potentially at least just a PR, not a PR thing of oh, we have to delay it just to put PR out there about Warzone and get it on top of people's minds, but it could be a thing where they wanted to wait so that they could kind of re-bring it to the forefront of everybody's minds halfway through rather than right after they dropped the original date. I don't know.
Yeah, something I do want to mention right now that I'm seeing go around is a theory. It's at least worth mentioning. I do not think that this is the case at all. There's a lot of chaos going on within Activision Studios revolving around CEO Bobby Kotick, sexual allegations and misconduct that have been going on for what feels like forever now. Things have really been heating up the past week. PlayStation's head guy, said that they were reevaluating their relationship with Activision Blizzard. And then yesterday, Phil Spencer, the chief guy for Xbox, said that he was also reevaluating and basically said some bad things about how he felt about the whole situation going on right now. Well, Warzone Pacific's early release has been delayed by 6 days from December 2nd to December 8th. And that is for people who own Vanguard. They get 24 hours early access compared to people who do not own Vanguard. Well, Gojj, do you know what else releases on December 8th? Halo Infinite campaign releases December 8th. And I see people on the timeline saying that this is a way to get back at Xbox for the comment yesterday. And it's just absolutely far-fetched and 100% not the case. You'd have to find some real concrete evidence for me to even entertain that thought process. I just thought it was worth mentioning out there that if you're looking forward to the Halo Infinite campaign and you're also looking forward to Caldera on Warzone, that you are going to have to you're gonna have to choose that day which one you're gonna do. And
yeah,
all of the early embargo stuff about the Halo campaign just started releasing yesterday, or actually last night at about 3 a.m. A bunch of different outlets got to play the first 4 missions. They got a couple of hours of hands-on with it, and so far every review I've seen about the campaign is great. So that's going to be a real tough choice, especially for me. I don't have a choice. This is my career. I have to play Warzone. But if I wasn't doing this as a job, I'd probably choose Halo, man. I can't have a Halo story spoiled for me, bro. I really can't. Like, the campaigns on those games mean a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is the campaign you can always come back to, right? It's something that you could just, go play after the original or initial hype of Caldera drops, and you get your reps in, you get your hours in, you do your work, and then you can go play the Halo campaign later. It's always going to be there, but I do understand that. It has been really interesting seeing different games compete with each other on the same days. I was kind of surprised to see that. I almost feel like it'd be in everybody's best interest for some of these releases to be on different days. It's not like they're trying to take away players or viewers or whatever from each other. I don't know. It's a bit odd to me that even just the PR wise, let's just push it one more day or take it one day earlier. I don't know how much 24 hours is really going to change anything, but just to have 2 different things on different days, not having the campaign hype and Vanguard hype at the same time. I don't know if they care about each other at all or if it's even really that much overlapping audience, but I don't know. It's just weird to me.
The only thing that really strikes me, and the only reason I even mentioned that whole Halo Infinite theory going around, that they're trying to slight them or something, is the number of days on the delay is just weird. When was the last time you heard about a 6-day delay?
Yeah.
That's just a weird number. If they would have delayed it 7 days, a week, it would have been exactly, we would have been able to beat the Halo campaign and then drop into Caldera the next day.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, definitely nothing to raise your eyebrow about. I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there and clear that up.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point, and I think it's worth everybody taking a look at hey, 6 days could mean a lot of different things. It could just mean, hey, we need a couple extra days to polish it up, or it could be hey, we need a couple extra days to let some of this major PR stuff that's going on at Activision Blizzard not necessarily blow over, but maybe get resolved. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting timelines that this could overlap with, and we can only really conjecture until it actually gets here.
Yeah. We can move on to our next topic, but I'm going to send you a link right now that is to, while we're on the topic of Warzone, that is to high quality images of the Warzone Pacific calling cards that were actually found this week. They were put in the game early. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. They were meant for the ending of Verdansk and all those things. That they were meant to be earnable from those. But you can actually see 4 different Caldera POIs. I just sent it to you guys if you want to pull it up.
I did see this.
And this is the highest quality version that we can get of them. Shout out to Legitimate Gamers for sending this over for me. I asked if I could get anybody to pull those. And yeah, I mean, they look gorgeous. I just love the whole vibe of Caldera. I really, really do already.
Yeah, I'm going to download them so I can get them at max qual for the... Yeah, these aren't actually in that big of quality for the stream, but I'll show you guys anyways. I'll just scroll through them. This is the max quality that I could get based on this link, but take a look at this. If you guys are on the YouTube, you can see some of these. I don't know if you guys saw these on Twitter. A lot of people were tweeting them out. Actually shows the different POI, shows what they're going to look like. Because right now, really, the only sneak peek we had besides these calling cards was that tiny little sneak peek obviously in the trailer, but also in the red doors kind of preview that happens when you go through a red door in Warzone. You'll see a tiny little preview of Warzone. So it is cool to see these different POIs. The resort area in particular looks extremely interesting to me. But I don't know. It looks bright and beautiful, man. It looks bright and beautiful.
Yeah, something that I wanted to mention about it is shipment went live 2 days ago in Vanguard, and I originally thought that we were going to be able to see the Warzone Pacific map for the first time through that. You could do something similar in Modern Warfare 2019 with both the Superstore and the vacant multiplayer maps. You could go in Caldera and fly around.
Yeah.
And while most of the buildings weren't rendered in, the major POI locations like prison and all that, you could see those. And based on what I'm seeing there, shipment originally wasn't added into private matches. It is available now, so you can go in and do this and try to look around. They thought ahead this year. Even though there's still buildings there in the downtown area nearby there, they're all extremely low quality rendered, and you can't really see much else of the rest of the map. But this is our first, great high quality images of it, besides from COD's official channels. And something I'm actually thinking about doing, because there is multiple different instances where we've been able to see Caldera, is putting together a video of all the official times that we've been able to see it through different clips. They've shown us the recent dog fighting clip of the planes flying through the valley. We also have the 3 different red door scenes you can get. We also have the original early access footage that they showed us, showing temples and jungles. So all put together, we've probably seen about 4 minutes of like live fly-through footage of Caldera. And to me, everything looks great. We took a good hard look at it on one of our podcasts. I can't remember what episode, but we were looking at one of the airstrips and stuff. And something that a ton of people are going to be, or are currently worried about, is that even though this map looks much more open without as much verticality when it comes to buildings, windows, and all those things, is that it's loaded with foliage and bushes. And everybody, if you've watched a custom tournament of Warzone with the best in the world, you'll see that being a bush Wookiee is a real thing. Like, you can hide in a bush and nobody will see you. And we went and we looked at everything we could see for Caldera, and based on what we saw, there's not really bushes like that on here. Like no bushes to where you can just get in them. There's like fern plants and there's shrubs, but you can't get inside of those. So I'm actually, I'm excited to see how it's actually going to play out. Is there going to be a lot of camping and ratting inside of the jungles, or is this going to be a constant movement or hold down a position type map?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. You can see, I mean, especially on these this bottom picture, I don't remember what this one is titled. This calling card is titled, but it's with all of the buildings. It kind of looks like a surf shop and like ice cream shop on the side here, maybe like a motel. You can see the volcano in the background. I mean, the volcano is the center of the map of Caldera. We took a look at the map when it was quote unquote leaked by Maven, and the volcano is kind of center of the map, and it's got a massive verticality to it based on the topography that we saw. The big question mark for me will be, like you were saying, for the different trees and bushes and all of that foliage. I think when you're playing customs and you're playing Warzone in general, and you have people camping in bushes, they do hide in the bushes and they can't be seen. And in these, they almost look like some of these pieces of foliage might have hitboxes, so there could be more. Yeah, there could be more cover theoretically, but I can only imagine that if they're like small ferns, that it's not going to provide you any cover. It's just theoretically you could try to hide. But yeah, it does look like you're gonna not gonna be able to like sit inside of a bush and like not be able to be seen. So I don't know, it'd be really cool. Honestly, what I'm not most excited about, one of the things I'm excited about though, I just would love to hear the sounds of the ocean crashing against the beach behind me while I'm at the resort area or at these areas around the actual like water's edge, because again, it is an island and we currently have kind of an island as well, but you don't hear the water. I would love to hear like ocean sounds when I'm near the beach. Like, that just sounds like such a amazing quality of life thing that, like, I don't know, gets you more immersed in what's going on, you know?
You trying to go on vacation, or you trying to play a battle royale, bro?
But you know what I mean? Like that water crashing behind you, like the beach there, the bullets coming in, and I don't know. It sounds so like aesthetic. I'm just excited for it, man. The map really. I said this at the beginning, but I gotta like re-say this because I've seen a lot of people saying this on Twitter as well. It just looks so bright and vibrant. I don't have to worry about my Nvidia filters probably. Like it looks beautiful, and I can't be more excited about it.
Yeah, one of the cool things that I'm noticing from that bottom picture is look at that shadow that's being casted on the mountain.
Yeah.
You see that? Is that from a building or is that a cloud? Like the shadows,
a cloud, yeah.
The shadows on this map look great. One more thing I want to bring up, at least while Gojj mentioned that, you know, these bushes probably won't provide cover, but they may have hard hitboxes. I could definitely see that being the case. We also need to realize that it's going to the Vanguard engine, and that's going to have an effect on things. And right now, pretty much anything that you think you can shoot through in Vanguard, you can shoot through easily. And it hardly reduces your damage. So I would expect it to be like that if those bushes are indeed hitboxes. Right now in Verdansk, there are several bushes / like 6-8 feet tall trees that legitimately you cannot shoot through. And there's also issues where you can't shoot through rocks or not shoot through them, but like the rock will clip even though it looks like you shouldn't be hitting it. Things like that. I'm really looking forward to this map. Everything about it, you know, I see a lot of people in chat saying that they're excited they won't have to use NVIDIA color filters. Don't worry, I'll still do an NVIDIA filter for it. What remains to be seen is how visibility is going to be in dark areas inside of buildings.
Right.
As well as where like those big shadows that we were just talking about are going to be casted. But and one more thing I just wanted to talk about really quickly is the fact that we are on an island now, and as you can see, the ocean surrounds us everywhere. What is going to deter us from just going and swimming in the ocean? Because right now we don't know if we can swim or not. Are we just going to slowly walk out there, and then as soon as like our waist goes underwater, we just fall over? Or are there going to be sharks in the water?
Look, I mean, I think, you know, I don't know if it's going to go full New World on us where you can't swim at all and you just walk underwater until you drown. Probably going to be you start walking in the water and it's going to go, you're out of bounds, turn around, you have 5 seconds before you implode. Like, you know what I mean? I would only assume that's what it is right now. Now, we talked about this many a times about all of these different ideas of boats and ways to kind of traverse around the map, literally around the map in the water. And so it wouldn't be out of the question for them to add swimming later. You know, there's a little bit of water potentially in the middle of the map as well with some rivers and stuff, but it might just be small creek beds that are just kind of sloshy as you're walking through. And we talked about this as well, where Fortnite originally didn't have swimming and then they included it later. So there could be a chance that swimming is going to be added at a later date, but I don't know. I can't imagine swimming is a feature when this game drops. If it is, I will be insanely surprised and kind of excited. It would make rotations on this map insane.
I would be surprised as well. And I remember when we looked at that, you know, Maven leaked map or whatever, the high quality version.
Yep.
Everybody was saying that there are no like waterways to move through. But if you go through and look at it, I want to say that I'm right on saying this. I haven't looked at it in a couple weeks. But there is one river that runs right through the middle of the map, all the way through. And that may be the one that I was talking to you about, Gojj, that maybe you can, like, you know, slide down the river like a whitewater rapid type thing for a rotation.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we can't swim, and it looks extremely shallow.
Yeah.
I mean, just some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, we have kind of sort of creek beds in Verdansk that don't really have water in them. It could be something similar like that, where it's like it kind of is a waterway, but not actual. We in the commercial development world that I used to be in, we call those wet water conveyances, something like that. Wet weather conveyances, I think, something like that. So maybe that's what it is. But anyways, okay, enough about water. I'm excited about Caldera. It sucks that it's been delayed, but the hope behind it is hopefully the delay allows for the game to come out a little bit cleaner, and it's not some PR thing or have to do with other things that are going on right now.
You got to join the Twitter space real quick.
I am in the Twitter space.
No, you're not. You disappeared, sir.
Oh, really? It says I'm in the Twitter space. We can't hear you. We can't hear you in spaces right now. Thank you for tweeting at me and saying that in chat. You guys are great. I just requested. Dude, why does text suck? I just requested. Do you see the request, Doug?
No.
Audio listeners, we're just staying right here. I might trim this out later, but I might not. And we also host these on Twitter, so yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be recorded on Twitter. I don't know how I don't see you right now, bro.
Dude, just tech, man. Sometimes I think my Twitter's bugging out.
Have you tried restarting your app?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again though. Dude, my Twitter is exploding.
Here, what? I actually have somebody in the Call of Duty community, Danny Intel, who does a lot of Call of Duty mobile stuff, wants to ask a question. I'm gonna pull him up real quick.
Do it.
I tried to, but as soon as I tried to, he was gone. Okay, Twitter Spaces.
I think Twitter's exploding, at least on my phone. All of my Twitter's not loading on my phone right now, so I don't know what to tell you, Twitter. I'm so sorry. Yeah, my setup is apparently a walking EMP. I think it might just be me, but my Twitter is not loading, and my internet is totally fine over here.
Everybody in this Twitter space, if your Twitter is acting up right now, do like one of the little emoji things, wave at me or something, because we currently can't get my podcast co-host in here. Like, he just randomly got kicked. Do a wave or something if your Twitter's busted. If it's not busted, do a 100.
I definitely turned Twitter off and turned it back on. Dude, this is L. Can we get some L spam in the chat? Okay, well, mine is like chalked. Nothing's. Look at this.
Have you tried to join through the DM I sent you?
Nothing's loading. Nothing's loaded in over an hour on my Twitter, and I can't even get Tony's graphic to like load up, and I've completely botched everything. I mean, I'll click it, but it's not loading anything on my phone.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
All right, Twitter Space. This is a perfect time for you guys to come to the YouTube where you can actually hear my other co-host, GrandmasterGojj, because he's currently having Twitter issues right now. So if you're here and you actually want to listen to the full conversation until we get him in here, join on the shared tweet above or go to YouTube and type in Modern Warzone Weekly. We're in a very good part of this conversation. We're having more tech issues today than we've ever had.
Yep.
Yeah, this is frustrating, but
we
are doing the best with what we have. But please come join the YouTube space.
At the very least, the exclusive ace isn't on right now, and we're absolutely getting just hamstrung by tech issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and everybody who's wondering why exclusive ace isn't on this week, we had a bit of scheduling conflicts that we couldn't resolve, and we will have him on next week, and we're gonna go real deep into Call of Duty Vanguard and this balancing and stuff like that.
All right. Well, until I get back, I just completely hard rebooted my entire phone because who knows, maybe that was some sort of an issue. Until it gets back on and thriving and going, do you just want to keep going?
Yeah, we can. What were we just on? Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I saw somebody in the chat ask, are new vehicles being added with the new Warzone map? Yes, we're getting buggies. We're definitely getting planes. One thing I want to mention is after playing the Vanguard campaign, during the Battle of Midway section, you get to fly a plane. So I guess like our first look at what flying planes will be like in this new Call of Duty. And I will say that the controls were absolute dog shit. It was very difficult to fly the plane and actually be able to shoot stuff with it. There we go. Restarting his phone worked. We got him back. We have him back, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. Just unmute yourself and you're good.
Oh, thank you, Ellen, for tweeting at me. I really appreciate that. And everybody in chat for hitting me up. My entire Twitter exploded, which didn't cause my entire phone to explode. So, hey, I resetted it. Wow, we're here. We're doing well.
For anybody who's just now getting here, I was just mentioning that the airplane controls in Vanguard at the moment in the campaign mission are kind of abysmal. They don't really feel very good or intuitive. Hopefully by the time that we get the Vanguard specific playlist, which will only allow you to use Vanguard's World War II era weapons and stuff in Caldera, the new Warzone map, hopefully by the time we get that, the planes, are much easier to fly and work with. Also, that might not be indicative of how they would work in multiplayer anyways, but yeah, we are getting the vehicles inside of Warzone Pacific. We're going to have a whole new list of all types of content to be looking at and looking forward to.
Yeah, I saw some tweets and some different pieces of information about it and how the flying the plane was near impossible on mouse and keyboard controller. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but the mouse and keyboard controls were people were struggling.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else worth covering about Warzone Pacific right now. We currently do not have any more information about it. I think that we pretty much have covered everything that we do know about it. Basically, just that this may be the internally second time that it's been delayed. And really, nobody seems to care that it's getting delayed. To be honest, like,
Yeah, I mean,
based on what I was seeing.
yeah, like we said, and to finally kind of clean up this conversation and move on to the next topic, which I think we want to talk about limited time game modes, etc., and then we'll go into Vanguard. But I think overall, most people are like, yo, if you got to delay it to make this game clean, I mean, we've all seen what happened delaying Halo for 16 years has done. That game is clean as a whistle. I mean, there are some very minor issues, but that game is clean in terms of how it feels, how it plays, etc., and bugs. And so, hey, if you got to delay Caldera to make the map feel clean, or the anti-cheats having issues, because as we both know, Doug, the anti-cheats not coming until Caldera is coming, and so, you know, that's being delayed as well 6 days, then hey, do what you gotta do so that we have a great product on release. Because Vanguard, well, maybe it should have been delayed a little bit more, and finally we're coming to some of those fixes that are going to really make the game feel more like a competitive and fun game to play. I know a lot of people still had fun, like you said, but some of the competitive issues really caused a stir in the community. So speaking of that, let's quickly talk about the Warzone limited time game mode that's going on right now. We had mentioned this on the last couple episodes, this kind of like, I actually, to be honest with you, I don't even have the terminology of what the limited time game mode was in front of me, but it's like the flashback to the past, like backtrack everything about Warzone in one game mode playlist. That's basically what I'm going to be calling it, because it's chaotic. Doug, I know we had talked about, you know, you hadn't had a chance to play it. I had a chance to play it, and I've watched people, other people play it and what they've been able to do on it. I mean, I know people in chat are probably like, this is so fun, or this is terrible, but it was chaos. So a couple little highlights about this limited time game mode is that there's an extra circle added. I don't know if you knew this, but extra circle added. So there's 9 circles, and every single time a circle starts, there is a new in-game event that happens. So you can get Juggernaut, you can get Fire Sale, you can get Resurgence randomly turns on. So like, rather than just a full-on jailbreak, it's like it plays like Resurgence does in Rebirth, where if you have one person alive, as long as you have that one person alive, people are respawning until that timer runs out. There's supply runs, there's the choppers, like I said, Juggernauts. There's the big like 10 attachment guns get dropped all over the map. The Nakatomi Plaza tower with the key card and the vault opens up. Like, there's just so much going on, it's insane. And there's all these old metas coming into the game where you can pick up a doof with fire rounds. There's DMRs on the ground that are demonic. It's crazy, and you can buy all kinds of crazy stuff in the loadout or the buy station boxes as well. There's you can buy the big bombardment that happens in downtown. You can even spend, I think it's $75,000 to buy a armored truck, if I saw that correctly. Dude, it's nuts, and it looks like it would be if you're like, yo, I'm bored of Warzone but I love this game, just try it out. I mean, it's chaos.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun mode, and I'm seeing very good reactions from community, content creators, and everybody about it. It looks like they put a good bit of love into this, by the way. I know I've seen a couple of employees of Activision, Raven Software, et cetera, saying that they poured their love into this, and they wanted this to be a true, you know, experience for anybody who got to miss the beginning of Warzone. I did link you, Gojj. I linked you to the COD blog that talks about it.
Yeah.
If we just want to pull that up on screen so people can look at it.
Yeah, we can go through these.
But yeah, Gojj is exactly right. Every single different circle has a random event that's going to happen, and they can range from a fire sale, a jailbreak, a supply chopper, a cash drop, free loadout drops. Something to mention in this game mode is up until the free loadouts have dropped, which is in circle 4, you cannot purchase a loadout. It does not matter how much money you have. You are stuck fighting with ground loot or trying to do one of these public events to get some of the best loot. There's also the ground fall where the satellites crashes, as Gojj mentioned. There's hostile fire, which is going to be the vault key cards and stuff. You can now open Nakatomi Plaza. Resurgence, which I think is really, really cool that they added. I actually was watching Iceman Isaac play yesterday, and it was like circle 8 or something, and he full sent to call Bobby Poff and somebody else back in, and he died for it, right? So they thought the game was chalk. They weren't going to be able to get a loadout or anything. As soon as Iceman dies, Resurgence comes on. So he gets to come right back. That's cool. I thought that I'd much rather them do like jailbreak's cool and all, but Resurgence feels like a better jailbreak in every way to me, at least. Yeah. And you can also get the Juggernaut crates. And another thing worth mentioning is that the redacted weapons from Iron Trials, where they were originally introduced, are available in this game mode. And those weapons are, they actually come equipped with 8 attachments for some of the Black Ops Cold War weapons, which was the first time we had seen that in Warzone. But now, of course, we have Vanguard weapons coming with 10 attachments. Circle collapses happen at a quicker pace. 9 instead of 8. They'll be slightly larger in radius, all of that type of stuff. And the really cool thing that I think a lot of people are talking about is the fact that most of the ground loot is, you know, metas from the past that some people may not have gotten to try, like Akimbo, Snake Shot, Magnums. M4s are ground loot again. This is the first time we've had Modern Warfare weapons as ground loot since Verdansk 1984 was introduced back in, I believe it was October of last year. But regardless, it's still a very cool game mode. One myth that I want to dispel, and I'm seeing a lot of people think this is the case because the weapon balancing in Warzone is a lot better than people give it credit for, is a lot of people are saying that these guns that are from past metas are pre-nerf. That is not true at all. They're not pre-nerf. They're still nerfed. I just want you to think about it for 2 seconds from a developer standpoint. As many issues as Warzone has with every big update, do you really think they're going to go back and revert a nerf to like 30 different guns for a limited time game mode that's only here for 2 weeks? The answer is no.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And I gotta remind everybody, this is called Operation Flashback. I called it a very long name earlier. Yeah, it's Operation Flashback is the technical name. I think we pretty much hit everything on this game mode. Again, you should definitely try it out at least once or twice. The only thing I think I've missed on here was you can pick up Hunter Vision, which is from Cold War, which occasionally highlights all nearby enemies with a heat signature, granting increased visibility on them even through cover. Yeah, this is wall hacks. And then also there is another event that can happen where you can get Overdrive perk. You can find that where it grants temporary speed boost. This is from limited time game modes. And then the other thing was, I can't remember what they called it, a restock. So it's kind of like Resurgence or Rebirth Island, where the supply boxes will close and you can loot them again. This happens and you can kind of re-loot any of the areas that have been looted on the map already. So a fun, fast, chaotic game mode, definitely worth trying. But overall, you know, kind of a niche thing that I was pretty impressed with how much time and effort they put into it.
It was broken at launch, and everybody was losing their mind about it because none of the lobbies would fully fill up. So it would get to 150 out of 152. Other than that, I haven't seen a single complaint about it. And I'm going to give this limited time mode for our first of, I believe it's 3 game modes that are going to lead to the eventual destruction or whatever's going to happen to Verdansk. I'm not leaking anything right now. Whatever's going to happen to Verdansk, this is what's leading up to that big crescendo, the final climax of Verdansk. I'm gonna give this one a W.
Yeah, I agree.
Big W for me.
Little bit I played of it and all the stuff I was able to watch. I think it's a win. Compared to some of these other like smaller limited time game modes that are just kind of like a different variation of something else. This is uniquely its own thing while being a combination of everything they've done in the past. I thought what they pitched is exactly what we got. It was a kind of a flashback to the past of everything that we've seen in Warzone history of the last 18 months, which is really, really cool. Without being like this crazy overbearing, like theatrical game, it still feels like Warzone. It's just chaos.
I agree, but disagree to a point. I thought that we were going to be getting some of the old POIs, like non-destroyed stadium.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
One of the gifs that they shared originally was a gif of like a guy standing there in front of the stadium opening entrance, and then the stadium looked like it was transforming to something a bit before that. That would have been cool, but at the same time, this is still great. You know, I'm not going to complain about it. I've played Warzone since day one, so it is kind of sad that some people don't get to experience certain places on the map. Like something I really wish that everybody could experience is when stadium was just useless. You just literally had to run around
I remember.
You couldn't get on the roof unless you had a helicopter. It was just useless. Actually, we're gonna call that Irons Campgrounds, because he stayed on there for all of the first couple seasons. But there's a lot of things I wish people got to experience. But overall W. Happy about the game mode.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's go ahead and jump into Vanguard and the most recent patch notes. Doug, I know we really wanted to touch on this because there's been a lot of chatter in the kind of Vanguard community about a lot of issues and a lot of broken mechanics with the game that everybody were very quickly found out. Of course, we showed the insane V2 rocket with gung ho and and also our two-shot Type 100s and everything with our vital perks. And so these patch notes, I'm going to pull them up on screen, and we're going to kind of walk through all of these. These just dropped November 16th, so as time of recording, about 3 days ago.
And worth mentioning is that everybody, it was I see a bunch of people on the internet saying the Vanguard's broken, there's so many bugs, they're not doing anything, Sledgehammer Games isn't listening. Look, they didn't update it for the first week because they were still getting data and making sure they were having a decent launch, and they did. Second of all, there have been, as of yesterday, I tweeted this yesterday, they did 3 patch passes in 3 days. That's damn good, and something I want other people to consider, especially all you Treyarch stands out there who loved Cold War. The first weapon balancing patch did not happen for that game until almost 3, it may even be past 3 months. I don't remember the exact number of days. I feel like I remember seeing the number 76 days or 96 days thrown around. But that was how long from launch to the first weapon balancing change that game ever saw. So if you're going to stand Cold War and then try to come trash Vanguard and say that it's bugged, broken, they don't care about the balancing, blah, 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 just shut up, bro. Educate yourself. This is they clearly are listening to the community. They have changed multiple things. And one of these things that Gojj is about to talk about with these patch notes, we have 3 different sets to read you, is that they've actually changed Bloom, something that I didn't even think that they would ever publicly acknowledge that they put in the game.
Yeah, they are listening. I'm going to keep it $150. They are listening heavy. Okay, so I'm going to read through some of these things, but also I think it's worth noting, like, some of these changes certainly are based on community reaction, and I think there's a chance that maybe they implemented some of these mechanics at the beginning to see how the community would react and then make the change, right? And so we're going to start with just reading through these patch notes, but I'm also going to show you guys the Bloom charts that we were able to pick up. Doug sent to me. That is really interesting to see those changes because it completely changes the way the guns work. So number 1, multiplayer. They nerfed the vital and caliber up combination. This is a huge change. We've seen this. The Type 100, you up the caliber of the weapon, of the bullets, and then you put on the vital perk, which increases kind of your headshot range up to, like, basically the upper chest still counts as a headshot, and you could 2-shot with this gun without basically any sort of issue. They nerfed the buck slug for shotties, which is a big change. Post map, this is another one of, like, hey, they're listening. Reduce the MVP voting screen duration by 5 seconds. That's a lot. I mean, that's a ton. 5 seconds is a long look, you guys, hey, you guys want to see what 5 seconds is like? Here we go. Just everybody silent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
While we're here, let's talk about this real quick, okay? Because they only mentioned 5 seconds there, correct?
Yep.
GrandmasterGojj posted a video on Twitter where he actually timed from the time of the end of the game to the time where it was done with the scoreboard, MVP, everything. And it was a minute or over a minute. And the next day, very next day, like I would think within 12 hours, he did the same test, and it was 30 seconds.
Really?
So they halved it, yes.
So
I
just
don't know
in general,
if that's for everybody or just for that one lobby. This is why I kind of am hesitant to get into, like, testing and stuff, because I've been wanting to look into weapon XP and all that, but they've also changed weapon XP rates since launch. They can do all this stuff. One thing I'm noticing about Vanguard is they're able to do a lot of server side things without us ever noticing.
Yeah.
This November 16th patch note, I didn't have it, and it wasn't publicly posted until November 17th. So I was posting the November 17th patch notes and then posting this one like, oh, look, they already sort of nerfed the shotguns, but it wasn't good enough. And then they nerfed them again with the next patch notes we're going to look at. But, like, that's crazy. They say they only reduced it by 5 seconds. GrandmasterGojj's test shows it's been reduced by 30. And that's not the, I guess they're talking specifically about the MVP voting.
Yeah.
But on this, actually, now that I think about it, the one that GrandmasterGojj showed where it was only 30 seconds, there wasn't even an MVP vote, bro. It just skipped it.
Well, that's probably why it was so much faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it probably was like 50 seconds or something like that. But anyways, big change. Very quickly running through the rest of these. Fixed clan progression issue where progression was stuck at level 2. Fixed an issue where the using dead drop sometimes prevented the player from deploying any more kill streaks earned. Zombies, they fixed progression issue with in Z41 camo challenges. And they addressed an issues where you could lose your pack-a-punch weapons mid-round. And they closed an exploit in Stalingrad where zombies could not reach the player. So big change all across the board. These look really, really good. We'll keep moving on and go to the next ones.
Yeah, for sure. Something worth mentioning there was about the field upgrades that did drop. It's currently busted. I'm just going to straight up say it. I hope somebody from Sledgehammer Games is listening. You guys really need to take a real hard look at that and decide whether or not you want it in the game. Right now, not only is it super duper strong, even without this busted part, but right now, I'm just going to straight expose this shit right now because I do not want to deal with it. If you were to go on a 10 kill streak and get dogs, right? If you activated your dead drop right when you get to that 10 kill mark, and then you go die, or you call in your dogs and then you die, you only have to get one more kill to get dogs again. You can just get one kill dogs for the rest of the game if you do it right. Yeah, it's broken. I haven't tweeted about this, but I've seen like I believe Hayashi, a very prominent, I forget which exact country and community he's a part of, but he tweeted about it yesterday and straight up tagged them and said, yo, you guys cannot do the free access week with this. This is not okay. But I haven't seen it getting widespread, but I do know that I typed it into YouTube last night just to see if it's getting kind of bigger, and yeah, people are starting to figure it out. It's getting posted on Reddit. That one just needs to go, in my opinion. Like, really, it's like they wanted to please the people coming from Cold War, where your streaks never reset, you know? And they put that in the game, and it really wasn't good until they just fixed it to where, like, previously you could only get all your kill streaks one time in a game with it on. And I kind of thought that was fair, you know, a fair trade-off for players who are really bad and may never get those high kill streaks. That's their way to do it. But I don't, with the current iteration of it, unless something is fixed, and it's only, that field upgrade is only a 30-second cooldown, by the way, Maverick just said in chat. So you can legitimately constantly have your kill streaks running. I just don't agree with it. You know, it's catered for casuals.
Yeah, golly. Well, that's a huge problem. I had no idea that was actually an issue. But let's look at November 18th. This was yesterday as of time of recording. We're going to walk through these pretty quickly as well. We're going to talk about the first one quite extensively, though. Weapon tuning. Reduce the effects of ADS spread, aka bloom, on base weapons without attachments. Dev note: attachments improving accuracy will reduce ADS spread. Attachments with accuracy penalties will increase the effects of ADS spread. Balance pass on all shotguns affecting range, bullet spread, hip fire penalty, and more. So they threw another balance patch on pass on shotguns. But Bloom, what does this actually look like? Oh, well, we've got a graphic here. Look at this. STG44. If you're on YouTube, you can see this. STG44, look at the new spread compared to the old spread. Bloom basically means a randomized pattern forms when you're shooting the gun at range. You'll see the bullets kind of all spread within some sort of a larger circle that the bullets can bloom to the longer you shoot. And these are the changes to it. So you can still see an irregular spread on some of these weapons, but it's so much tighter. It essentially is non-existent comparatively.
Let me correct you real quick.
Okay, go for it.
It's a confusing thing, and Exclusive Ace had to. This is an image courtesy of Exclusive Ace. All his branding's there and everything. If you guys want to keep up with all the gun stats in Vanguard, right now I haven't seen anybody keeping up with it as quickly as Ace is. Originally, True Game Data is the one who exposed Bloom, and I remember posting about it, and everybody lost their minds because it is bad.
Yep.
One thing to note when you're looking at this graphic is that this isn't a fully auto thing, okay?
Correct, yeah.
And it's gonna blow your mind. So, like with the AS44, you see all those red dots everywhere. This is with Exclusive Ace using it in single shot and recentering it to the exact same spot every single time. So he basically was trying to hit in the middle of where that AS44, all that recoil pattern is, and every single time the bullet would randomly decide where it was going to go. And those are some huge deviations.
Yep.
In certain cases, considering that he's using an optic or whatever he's using to hit that exact mark. I mean, those are huge variations. Whereas you look at it now and it's hardly noticeable, to be real. To be real, it's not that bad at all. I still believe in a Call of Duty game or any FPS that wants to consider itself competitive in any way, shape, or form, that wherever you aim down sights at is where your gun should hit. I don't want any real life bullet deviation from World War II weapons in my game. If you guys want to do 10 attachments, please figure out a better way to balance the weapons than this. I'm glad that they nerfed it as strong as they did, because it's a huge difference. I mean, you can just tell right there. The Volk, for instance, I mean, that thing probably couldn't hit anything past 10 meters. But that is a very good gun. All these guns, like, there's the entire armada of weapons inside of Vanguard are all viable, but with the bloom aspect, they absolutely were not. So I hope that they continue to tone it down, as well as, you know, straight up come out and say it. I'm glad they came out and straight up said it. They didn't say, you know, accuracy has been improved. They straight up said bloom.
Yeah,
like
they did.
They
Yep.
acknowledged it for what it was, and thank you so much for having the balls to do that. And I really didn't see that many people up in arms about it, but it's a big change. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, no, I am too. Yeah, I definitely misspoke. Bloom is single fire and the randomness after you shoot the single fire, not like how long you shoot it. So sorry for misspeaking
No, you're
there.
fine.
But this was actually a lot of people's issues when you first start the game, because the accuracy attachments that you add to the gun was basically reducing bloom, right? And so there were a lot of people I saw. I'll give Sally as a dog a shout out. Sally said when he started playing Vanguard, he was like, yo, my hit reg, is this the game? Is this the server I'm on? My hit reg is terrible, because he wasn't expecting bloom in the game, and he had guns that were not leveled. He goes, oh, I leveled up my guns. My hit reg looks great. I guess this is a feature. And it was like not really fully conveyed at that time, because this is like, you know, 48 hours after the game drop that we actually had bloom. But this is a massive change. If you're an audio listener, think of it. It goes from a random pattern to a very, very tight pattern that is still somewhat random, but looks way more recognizable to what Call of Duty should actually look like, at least from our history and our experience with Call of Duty in the past. So again, we talked about this earlier. It almost seems like they tried to add this as a feature and see how the community responded, and then made the change based on the community's response. And the community's response overall to bloom was downvote. Like, no chance. We don't need this in Call of Duty.
Yeah, just that word is associated with negativity.
Yeah.
I think one of the first times I heard about bloom talked about negatively was in Fortnite, when people realized that it didn't matter where you aimed. Half the time it's just going to choose where the hell the bullet goes for you. So I'm glad that they acknowledged that it's bloom. I'm also glad the community's speaking up that they don't like it. But with those reduced bloom numbers that we just showed, as well as the plot patterns, you can tell now that even though there is some bloom, if you're aiming, middle of a player's hitbox, you're gonna get hits now. Yeah, regardless of what weapon you're using.
Yep, exactly. There's, especially at that range that Exclusive Ace was testing, was 33 meters. But we'll keep running through some of these patch notes. Weapon challenges, were a lot of things were fixed. Fixed an issue on the MK11 launchers, long shot challenges. I know all of these challenge fixes are actually massive for all the grinders out there going for their camos and everything. So corrected a mislabeled proficiency required for the Mind Games challenge for the automaton. Fixed a bug preventing the player from completing the Deadeye challenge for the fighting knife. UI gameplay fixed the search and destroy bomb glitch, where players could see when an enemy was defusing the bomb. Let's stop here before we read the rest of them. This is a change that we expected to be fixed probably 48 hours after the game launch, because everybody was like, wait, what in the world? It completely changes the way tournaments are played. When you have the information, like, again, I think I showed the clip on screen maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago. I was watching a Vanguard tournament. I think it was quite literally for like $50,000, and Unrational went up. I think it was on Dimyansk, went up to the top where you could of the like tower where you can climb the ladder, and then you can shoot down on the bomb site, and you can shoot through the floor. And because of this glitch, when the enemy starts defusing the bomb below you, you just start shooting around the bomb until you hit, or around the plant site until you hit them and you kill them through the floor. It's insane. So I'm glad they finally fixed this so that people can actually play search and destroy correctly. It took them a while, but we got it done, so that's great. Big ups for them.
It also was like ruining the public perception of the game, because most of the viewership for Vanguard currently has been around those big search and destroy tournaments with CDL pros, and every single one of them has been complaining about this bug. bug completely changes the way that search and destroy works. Just to explain to our audio listeners as well as the people watching live on YouTube right now, the way that this bug worked is once the bomb was planted, right? Normally, you can hear a bit of a sound effect if you're close enough and somebody starts to defuse a bomb. So that means you want to remain within a certain proximity of said bomb. That way you can kill them if they do so. Well, the way the bug worked is no matter where you were at, if you could see that bomb icon, it would pop up a text in the middle of it that was obvious as day that said defusing bomb. So you could literally, most of the pro player strats was plant bomb, run a full circle around the whole map, make sure that nobody's defusing, get into a crazy peak spot, and then you're pretty much at a disadvantage if the other team planted. Thank God they have fixed it. I think that the public perception of competitive Vanguard will go way up after that, because that was really the only thing holding them back. And it's crazy, like you said, we expected this issue to be fixed a little bit quicker. As much credit as I've given to Sledgehammer Games, that's one that I expected to be fixed extremely quickly with the amount of money that has been put in. I believe there's already been $500,000 worth of Vanguard tournaments ran. Yep. That's a crazy number to have such a game-breaking bug in there. But I'm just glad it's fixed now, you know? I mean, we're only 2 weeks post-launch. All this crazy shit's happening about Activision. Sledgehammer Games themselves have been implicated in certain parts of it. I'm just glad that we have that fixed. And the next thing that you are about to I'll read it right now.
Yeah,
the next thing is perks. Fix the gung-ho sprint speed shooting glitch. Slow down, friends.
Let's go.
Let me explain the thing about gung-ho, okay? Gung-ho is still one of the strongest attachments for your weapons in Vanguard for multiple reasons. First of all, it completely removes your sprint to fire time. Second of all, the thing that they just fixed was that if you hip fired while you were moving like way faster than any other method in the game. You were moving faster than tag sprint, and it even looked like you were outrunning your own bullets, like you were playing some type of bullet time game. Thank God that they have reduced it, or that they have fixed that glitch. I will say that another thing that they've fixed was the bug with Vital working with stopping power rounds, basically, to make guns have an absurd KD, or not KD, but a TTK. So like the Type 100 could have a 0.88 or 88 millisecond time to kill, which is insanely fast. Y'all don't even understand. 2-shot kill with Vital and these stronger rounds equipped. They have patched that bug, okay, but my recommended build for the Type 100 didn't even use that bug. My recommended build was to trade Vital out for Gung-Ho, because Gung-Ho fully removes your sprint to fire time, makes it 0. So you can just you can sprint all around the map, immediately stop, and aim down sight. The only thing affecting your speed at being able to kill a player is your aim down sight speed. So what I was doing was building whatever gun had Gung-Ho to have absolutely insanely high sprint to fire speed. So like I would put every attachment on it that would make the gun slow as hell. Throw Gung-Ho on it, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden you have a laser beam SMG that can just dominate people in 3 bullets still. I still think they need to take a good look at that perk, but at least they have acknowledged that they are looking at every part of the game. The most broken aspects have clearly been proficiency in stopping power rounds, but I am thankful that they have fixed that. And the next thing that they fixed is a bug where players had 10 times the amount of armor HP than usual. I shared a video of that. I didn't link it to you, but I thought it was a spawn protection thing, but nope, this guy just ate about 60 bullets because he had an armor plate on. What's next? Challenges fixed a bug where the Grizzled Veteran challenge get 50 eliminations. Basically, they did a lot of quality of life improvements is what I'm noticing. There's still a ton of broken camo challenges. I'm not going to shy away from that. There's a lot of things that are bugged in Vanguard right now. But what I will say is that three balance and 3 patches in 3 days is damn good.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. A couple little small things to finish this up. XP, operators' favorite weapons not provide the correct amount of XP when used. They did fix the thing that we talked about last episode, and the way they phrase this is comedy. Clan tags. You know you shouldn't be rocking the Sledgehammer Games, the IW, and the Raven tags. Now we've made it so you can't. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you fixing that issue. Well done there. And zombies. Exfil addressed an issue where the player could still interact with the exfil portal after failing to exfil. Progression corrected the MVP highlight unlock text. and Covenants addressed an issue where legendary Covenants were still not appearing for some players. So a lot of quality of life fixes, some really, really big ones, of course, the ones we've highlighted. Overall, good changes, excited for more in the future. Glad they're listening.
Yeah, definitely worth mentioning as well is that the camo bug that allowed you to equip any camo you wanted in the game has been patched. I will say, some people said that their camos were like not reset like their progress, but that they had the camos removed from their weapons. When I logged on Vanguard, any gun that I put a camo I shouldn't have on is still there. Hopefully they get that sorted out. I took them off of all of my guns since then because they're clearly trying to fix the problem. I don't want to exacerbate the problem. As long as it's acknowledged and they know it's a problem, all good.
Yeah, no, and I think we've touched a lot of everything with Vanguard. I'm hoping they continue to listen to the community, because so far so good in terms of how aggressive they're trying to make changes to make this one of the best Call of Duties that they can. But speaking of one of the best Call of Duties of all time and what they can, I mean, it's worth mentioning too, Doug. I know you tweeted this out, that report has stated that Call of Duty sees its worst UK launch week since Call of Duty 4 14 years ago.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all.
And
even though it's just the UK and it's a limited sample size, still indicative of the total outlook towards the current game.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll read this last sentence and then we can talk about this for just a second, because I thought it was worth having a conversation about. A year-over-year launch week sales results show a 40% decrease in sales when compared to last year's Black Ops Cold War. Let's talk about this for like a half a second, because ultimately, when you think about game sales, it is very difficult, especially in terms of launch week. It is very difficult to say, hey, launch week is indicative of how good a game is. If anything, launch week probably is indicative of how good the last game is that you dropped, which this would certainly, kind of prove that theory, if anything, because Cold War really was such a failure in a lot of people's minds that it doesn't surprise me that Vanguard takes a huge hit in sales, because last year's COD was so quote unquote bad.
Yeah, and launch week is also indicative of the entire your audience's perception of the product that you're going to deliver. I think that there's a lot of things that went into factor into this, and we can go through them real quick and then we'll move on. One thing I want to talk about is whether you are a Treyarch stan or not. I will tell you that Black Ops Cold War, being the game that it was at launch, absolutely is contributing to this in a big way. In a big way. Number two, what's contributing is the timeline. People, as soon as they see World War II, they think a game has to be, freaking hell let loose or something extremely realistic, slow, and everything else. When in reality, this is one of the fastest playing Call of Duties I've played in a minute. Number three is that I want to mention that the current situation with Activision Blizzard and everything going on with them legally and within their own company definitely is also affecting this. Number four is that the fact that we do not have the Warzone integration yet, and it has not, the marketing. I also think that it's extremely indicative of how marketing has gone as to how your launch week goes. I think we're going to also see that Battlefield 2042, their official launch week this week, is going to be abysmal, whereas their early access launch week is going to have had a lot of sales. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that right now there just is not a lot of hype around Call of Duty because of the issues with Warzone, the fact that there still isn't an anti-cheat. There are a myriad of things that go into what caused this to happen. But the one thing I can honestly say that did not cause this to happen is that the game's bad. The game's not bad. I don't give a shit what the launch numbers say. This is one of the best Call of Duty launches we've had in 5, 6, 7, however many years. It's been very, very good for a Call of Duty launch. And moving into something I do want to talk about is that right now, Call of Duty Vanguard is free to play for everybody in the world. You can go download it right now, and instead of, arguing over Twitter or saying that you saw this or you saw that or you saw this, just go give it a shot yourself. See how you like it. Please don't just throw yourself into shipment 24/7 lobbies and then say this game is terrible. Go play the actual game. Go play 6v6 tactical, try out Blitz. just give the game a shot. I'm not trying to sell their product for them, but that vote right there is indicative. Everybody used to say when my votes for Modern Warfare got more votes than Black Ops Cold War, that it's because my account's named Modern Warzone. All of my fans are from Modern Warfare, blah, blah, blah. Well, then please explain to me why Vanguard has won every single vote that I've put up so far for the best multiplayer to release in recent history for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's not just people simping. Nobody is shilling for the game. It is fun for the first time in a long time. And I am disappointed to see the UK's launch numbers, but I do think that maybe this is going to have an adverse effect that the Call of Duty community is not prepared for, because this map dropped with the most launch maps we've had since Black Ops 2. It's got multiple different ways to play the game. Combat pacing is great, but they've realized that it doesn't matter when they put all that effort into that stuff. It really doesn't matter, because everybody, you know, the general consensus on the internet is that Modern Warfare 2019 is the worst Call of Duty ever, but it also has the best sales numbers ever, has best this, and that. And everybody says it's because of Warzone. Well, it had all those numbers before Warzone. They're going to look at these numbers between Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, and Vanguard, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to put all the shit that y'all hated from Modern Warfare 2019 back into the next game, potentially, to please people that they didn't please with this current iteration of the IW8 engine. And that is a very bad thing, you guys. You should support a good game, in my opinion. You don't have to support the publisher, you don't have to support the developer, but if you're a Call of Duty fan and you're just not trying Vanguard, go give it a shot. Really, a pretty damn good game.
Free until the 22nd of November, which is, what is that, Monday? Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, I can't hear you in my headphones anymore.
Oh, what the? Serious? Okay, we're good. No, we're still here. Everything's fine. Yeah, free till Monday. Free till Monday. So yeah, go try it out at the very least. There's no reason not to try it. Your bloom has been taken away too on your base weapon, so you're not gonna feel like
shotguns are nerfed.
Yeah, you're not gonna feel like you're at an insane disadvantage when you just try some guns out. Try it with some friends, you know, stack and run some blitz playlists for fun, and then try, you know, slow down and run some tactical pacing as well, and just see what you think. I'll be really curious to see maybe if we rerun this vote after this free weekend, what people will think, because there's probably a lot of people that have waited to buy it because they're like, I'm not so sure about COD, but let me try it out, and they might get hooked like, you know, a lot of us did. So,
and not only that, but like with the integration of Warzone Pacific, bro, it doesn't matter what the launch week sales are. This thing's gonna sell like hotcakes. There's no better way to level up your weapons, and they do that on purpose. Warzone is a branch that is completely, you know, it's the main center point of Call of Duty right now, but it is made to sell the premium titles. And if you play Warzone and you're going to look at me and honestly say that throughout the next 365 days, you're not going to buy Vanguard when it goes on sale, or you're not going to go level your weapons up for Warzone there, I'm just letting you know you're going to go do plunder for about a day. And then you're going to say, you know what, my time is worth more than this. And you're going to go buy Vanguard. Just my thoughts.
No, I don't disagree at all. I definitely go try it. I enjoy the game a lot. I've been playing a lot of Halo recently, but that's because nostalgic value. I've still been playing a lot of Vanguard. You don't need to say that right now.
Yeah, Halo's free though. Halo's free.
It is free. Halo is also free. So maybe try them both out this weekend and then give us your take on that. We can do a vote on that too. Obviously, Halo's gonna lose on your account, Doug, but maybe we can get a more unbiased account.
It did very well in the last vote, bro. Seriously, like I asked what was the best game out of the three, and it got almost 30% of the vote.
That's pretty good. Well, last topic today, we're going a little bit long, but I think it was all really good conversation. Last topic, we got to at least mention before we close out the episode, the insane Twitch Rivals World Series of Warzone solo dolo win by the man, the myth, the legend, the ultimate GOAT, Scump, who won. Freaking Scumpy, man, won the Warzone Solos event for $100,000. Now, if you're an audio listener or maybe you're a Twitter Space listener, you have no idea what we're talking about. World Series of Warzone was a $400,000 Warzone event with all of these Warzone pros. It was $300,000 in the general tournament format with the drafting system and all this cool stuff that you can go check out. But the last map of the day, everybody that was playing loads into the same lobby solos. Everything goes. Last person standing by themselves wins $100,000. And of course, Scump, of all people, wins it. And not only wins it, but wins it with normal weapons, running like an OTS and an EM2 and a freaking, Diamati, after grabbing Ghost or something like that off of a regain. Like, everybody else has got a riot shield on their back, gallows in their pocket, camping bushes. My man Scump drops 11 kills, base weapons, and wins $100,000, which then pushes his overall earned in Call of Duty to over $1 million, which is really, really cool for the GOAT himself.
He also won more in that one game of Warzone than he did in the entirety of CDL competing last year, which is crazy. One other thing worth mentioning is that the final two people that he killed to win the game was number 1 Huskers, and number 2 it was a 1v1 him against Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden most earned in Warzone history, I'm pretty sure still, and Huskers ended up winning World Series of Warzone, the main event. So big, 2 just titans of Warzone players that he took out at the end. Aiden was using the riot shield combo and almost eked it out, but Scump just, dude, it was cool, man. It was a really fun and exciting way to finish the event, and of course his reaction is gold.
He also had 11 kills.
I know,
in like the rattiest mode ever. And Aiden right there. So if Aiden kills Scump there, they tie at 10 kills. Like, they both were just balls moving to the wall, the whole lobby. Yeah, they were moving, which is crazy. Everybody else in there, I played in, it wasn't 100K. I think it was like 50K or like 10,000 or something or it was 5,000. Yeah, that's what it was. 5,000 for whoever won in a solo YOLO. And I'm just gonna say, bro, that is the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. And Scump's just out there ego challenging riot shields with stun grenades, bro.
Yeah, talk about ice in his veins. People were like, you're not clutch. Yeah, I think he might be a little bit clutch. I would be pouring sweat. Doug and I, we'll get to this in a second, but Doug and I competed in a Splitgate tournament randomly, and you don't understand how much I was actually dripping. When I say dripping, not like kind of dripping, I mean literally dripping sweat for a 10K tournament. Like, I can't even imagine a solo YOLO 100K event or one game solo YOLO. I mean, I knew some content creators that made it to like top 25, and they just about, for lack of a better term, had just shit their pants.
Yeah, Bobby Poff was sitting in a bush the whole time with a riot shield. Like, you just can't blame him either. There's really nothing, like, what do you want them to do? Like, legitimately, it just was cool to see that Scump ended up being the one who won that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But anyway, so I wanted to mention that to end off the episode. Hey, sorry for all the tech issues today, audio listeners. I think I edit all of that out, so you're probably on the up and up. But everybody else, thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to end today's episode with our classic closing statements. Doug, what are you up to? Where can people find you, or the last-minute statements you need to make before we close this bad boy out?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it just because if I'm gonna do it on, my other major platforms, I might as well do it on our weekly podcast. I just want to say that it came out that, the Warzone accusation expert himself, Bad Boy Beeman, who doesn't matter if I say his name or not at this point, every other big streamer in the world knows who he is. They've said his name. I hear him mentioned on Tim's stream and stuff all the time. I know people are like, why you keep giving this guy attention? If there's a reason to give him negative attention, I'm going to do it. First of all, it came out, his COD tracker was found through one of his own gameplay videos, and they went back through and they looked, and they found that this guy had been rage hacking for an entire day on Warzone back in July. And he's always claimed that, he'll do research or he'll test out new updates to cheats, this, that, and the other. And since this report has came out, he's absolutely backtracked. He's deleted the COD tracker, even though he says he has nothing to hide. He has fully deleted the Activision account. His friend that was hacking and playing with him has deleted it as well. One of the games, he even dropped a 38 kill bomb. I would just like to say that doing research, if you're truly trying to educate people, it's totally fine. Totally understand it. But first of all, there's multiple different ways to do research. You could go into a training lobby and you could go against bots and you could show your different aim bots, walls, silent aim, all you want in there and not harm anybody else's experience. Second of all, you have over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, you piece of shit. Take it to a private match. Invite this community that supports you so much to get hacked on for a couple of hours. Record it. Third of all, you have never published any research. All you do is talk. You have never once published a single word of relevant research about what you're doing. Fourth of all, you just are not somebody that can be trusted in any way, shape, or form when it comes to the things you do. And fifth of all, you ruined over 1,500 players' games that day while you hacked for your research purposes. Sir, you are the scum of the Call of Duty community. Please, please move on. That is my closing statement.
Well, thank you for that, Doug. I fully stand behind everything that you said. I think that great closing statement. Yeah, it has been exposed this man just rage hacked. So, like, I mean, he was already an L. Now it's just like a full L. So we'll get that guy out of here. Anyways, last thing for me, I guess, GrandmasterGojj, you guys know this. I don't even need to repeat this every single time. All major socials. I've been cranking a lot of Halo recently. Vanguard as well, and I'm excited about Warzone, but Halo in particular. I'm on the quote-unquote road to Onyx, as just everyone else is. And almost there. I'm Diamond 5, so just need 2 more levels and I'm up into Onyx. Feeling really good playing this game again, man. I've been grinding and having a blast doing it. I'm going to be making a ton of content around Halo until, at the very least, until Warzone drops. So anyways, hey, thank you guys so much for listening. Twitter Spaces, thanks for hanging in with us the entire episode. YouTube, you guys are fantastic. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel on YouTube, please do so. It helps a ton. And hey, throw noties on there too. It'll notify you when we go live. We only post live content here. I trim it down after the fact, so you guys don't have to hear all the intro and like stuff before we actually hit the like start of the episode, and I trim out the back end as well. So seriously, drop a subscription, like the video, and make sure you turn those noties on so you know when we go live. Usually we go live Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time. We had to delay it for, reasons. Sometimes I have tournaments. Sometimes Doug's got stuff going on. And then sometimes just life gets in the way. But these will all go out to all major podcasting platforms as fast as possible. Usually about 24 hours it takes to kind of trim down the episode, let that process, and then take that audio and send it to Spotify, iTunes, etc. If you would love, if you listen to us in audio, in car, etc., and you like it, leave a review as well. Other than that, hey, I'm Gojj. This is Doug. We had a blast hanging out with you. We can't wait till episode 15. We'll see you guys later.
Like the video!